We are shown a picture where a guy is playing computer games in his apartment at 3 o'clock in the morning. The guy's name is Xuan. He had white hair and blue eyes that turned red due to lack of sleep. He was angry because he couldn't catch another player, but when he caught him and wanted to kill him, the computer screen abruptly lit up and swallowed the guy. He was thrown into another world called Prefecture E. The guy got into some city in the form of a ghost. When he fell to the ground, he was not hurt and several people passed through him. These people had strange attire, and they started telling someone that they dared to come to the perfect tour. And then a white-haired guy similar to Xuan appeared in front of them, and he told them that since they had run into him, they were very unlucky. Xuan himself was shocked because he looked exactly like him. Those masked men said that such behavior could make people angry, and after taking off their masks, they turned to that guy named Xuan, telling him that they did not think that he would fall into their trap so easily. To which he replied that he kept thinking who this one is. It turns out that he is the defeated General Chen Song. And I asked him if he still wanted to be defeated. A man of large build defeated the name Chen Feng, got angry calling him arrogant. And another named Chen Song angrily said that he had not yet experienced his power on himself. The large-built man furiously said that he would stop talking and today he would teach him a good lesson, and activating his lightning power, he flew towards Xuan, viciously shouting that he would show him that there are people more talented than him in this vast world, and told his brother to step aside. He activated his power called the 4th grade art Exploding Thunderclap. Xuan also activated his family's 4th grade art power, Tongbei Strike. The other Xuan was sitting on the sidelines and thinking that what he sees is an advanced martial art. And if he had a physical body, he could also become stronger in this world. The general's eyes filled with blood from anger as Xuan fought with his brother on a par. He must die and the general could not allow him to become stronger. And he has no place in the city of Lianyang, and here in the family he has no one to rely on. While his brother and Xuan were fighting, he took out a hidden knife and wondered who allowed Xuan to have such a talent. And he said that he would not feel at ease if he did not die, and headed in his direction. Realizing what he wanted to do, the ghost of Xuan shouted to the other to be careful. Before he had time to react to this, he immediately felt a strong pain from behind. The general stabbed him. His brother was at a loss as he did not expect this from him. He wanted to strike another blow, but a lower class dagger would not be able to strike a second blow. Chen Feng pushed him towards his brother and said that let him deal with him. If he wants to kill, then let him kill. As he left, he added that they could not stay here any longer, they had to leave faster. After checking that Cheng Song said that he was dead, and they left together. After they left, the guy approached his double and said that he thought he would be the same as him when he died. Is he really that special, or maybe someone specifically involved him in this? And sighing, he said how to greet and provoke those who came to take his life. If he were his game character, those two would be dead. He was unlucky to die with his eyes open, so he would not be able to rest in peace, and he closed his eyes telling him to live the next life wisely. And then he began to be sucked into this body. When he barely started to open his eyes, it was already morning and someone above his head was calling him young master. When he finally woke up, he saw a girl named Luer. She started crying because she thought he was dead. She was Anya's personal servant, he thought. But how does he know all this? And then he sat down abruptly and told her to bring a mirror. When he looked at the mirror, he saw that he had reincarnated on the body of his double, and thought that first he was dragged into this and now he has become that unlucky guy, and he remembers what Cheng Song said before. He said that the owner of this body is the #1 genius of Lianyang City. From grinning said that now he is the first genius in this city, and he added that now he would improve, but then he wondered where to start it. And I remembered that in the TV show they said something about fate and Dongshan. And then the girl interrupted him and wanted to say something. Suddenly the guy spat blood and fell to the ground. When he asked what happened to him, she replied that the head of the house said his Dongshan was destroyed and the basic perfection was lost. The guy sitting on the floor desperate said why he did all this. He just wanted to become a great master of S. Is his path going to end before it even begins? Luz worriedly said that his wounds had not been tightened yet and asked him to keep himself in hand because they would still be able to restore his Danshan. And she added that Kui said that there is a 100-year-old black blood ginseng in the treasury. Maybe with his help it will be possible to restore his strength. Hearing this, the guy grabbed her hands and told her to take him there faster. While they were walking there together, all the people on the street looked at him and began to whisper anxiously, wondering what had happened to the young gentleman. He's so pale and he doesn't look healthy at all. To which another said that a few days ago he was attacked and his Danshan was destroyed, and he lost his cultivation. To which the other said sharply, he is now considered a cripple. Another girl scolded her, telling her not to talk, because the young master has always treated them very well, and they will hope that he will recover. Everyone said that he was a very good person and always helped people. The girl pointed to the building and said that they had come to the treasury. In front of them there were 2 guards and 1 man who was sitting. 2 of the guards stopped him, saying that strangers should not be allowed inside. To which the girl shouted to the 3rd attendant to open his eyes, because this is Xuan and not some crook. He looked at them and asked for forgiveness for not recognizing him and asked what he needed here. Hearing his request, he replied that if he needed something from the treasury, then he needed to bring the order written by the patriarch's hand. The girl also said that earlier the young master was allowed to take resources for cultivation without the patriarch's order, and what has changed now. To which he hit the table with his hand and said that it was before and now with her earlier. Now the young master is not a young talent but a cripple. What can this colleague do that the patriarch should share his treasures with him? Hearing this, the girl was indignant and said it was disrespectful because the young gentleman always treated them well, and he pays him so much for it. To which he coolly replied that yes, he treated his family well, and that's the only reason he still addresses him young master, and any other person would have already been taken away by the guards. The remaining resources in the treasury for cultivation are needed by others, and they can't spend it on a cripple. And he added that he would no longer waste his time here. He had heard from reliable sources that the head of the clan was planning to send him somewhere in the province, and now he will rule some village there. Xuan thought that in just one night, a person turned from a young talent and a favorite of the patriarch into a weakness that some bureaucrat shrugs off. Somehow everything is too realistic here. And turning around, he told the girl to forget these conversations, we won't achieve anything, and told her to go with him. The girl said so she doesn't think they should believe his words. He will be able to ask the personal patriarch. The attendant said irritably that he still did not understand where his place was. While Xuan and Lure were walking to the patriarch, a girl appeared in front of them and said that the patriarch was looking for them and he was waiting for them in the hall. Well, the guy asked if she knew what he wanted from him. The girl kept silent for a while and said that in his opinion someone from the Linya family had arrived. They did not want to terminate the engagement, and the guy thought that now he should take all his hands and told her that he understood her and he would go there immediately. The girl, outraged, started shouting that a month ago they themselves were the initiators of the wedding of the young master and Lin Zhu, and now when things have become not very they decided to give a back. To which the guy thought at least it would not be necessary to gather a delegation. When they arrived there were 7 men inside the room. The guy greeted his uncle and he told him that he called his nephew because the Lin family wants his wedding with Lin Zhu to be cancelled. To which the guy replied that he knows this and in the end he is now a cripple who has lost his station. 2 men in armor, one larger and with a beard, were sitting in front of him. After putting down his cup of tea, one of them said that all this was not so, because it was he who insisted on this wedding, and such a trifle would not have made him change his mind. Another of them with a beard said that one of the best followers of the Tianyun sect took a liking to her, and decided to take her as a disciple, so she decided to break off the engagement for him. To which the guy replied that he could not believe that the Lin family had come up with such a story to mock a cripple. The man with the beard grinned and said how ungrateful youngsters are sometimes. Lin Zhu joined the sect and became their family pride, and naturally she will become the target of courtship. If people of their level find out that she is already engaged, it will not end well for him. The guy heard this and said that it was very presumptuous, and asked them if they thought the laws of the Xinjiang Empire existed just for show. To go against them is a rare courage. The man started laughing and said that his ignorance was frightening. And he said that he just doesn't know what the sect is capable of. And he's just a Dharma protector, but even he's not afraid of the empire. And with one blow, Smog would destroy the table in front of them and said he could destroy the empire he was trying to cover himself with. But he did not like to mock the weak, otherwise he would have solved the issue with him in a different way. When Xuan looked at the others, they all sat in silence, not laughing to lay out a single sound. And I thought he was so confused. It looks like this man is telling the truth. The man asked what he had decided. The other one told him not to worry. If he voluntarily agrees to break off the engagement that they will return all the gifts. And then the guy got an idea. He thought that in his opinion the father of the previous owner of this body had left him a fortune. If he can find the same amount or 3 times more, then he will be able to buy resources to restore the Danshan. And he said that he agreed, but as compensation, he said that he should receive 3 times more than he originally gave. Then his uncle got up from his seat and said that it was impossible. To which Xuan told him not to worry because he has his own opinion on this matter. And turning to that other man, he told him that he himself had offered him this engagement, and now he wants to terminate it. If he just agrees and agrees, how people will look at him. he will become a laughing stock. Besides, the Tianyuan sect and the Lin family are honest sects. He doesn't want to spread good rumors to me. That man was his uncle and was angry at him. The guy said that if suddenly people talk about such bullying on his part, the cultivator will not like the behavior of the Lin family. Both their families will suffer from this. And looking at him, he said that now they would do this. Uncle Lina would return to him 3 times more than he gave to his daughter. And he would tell Xuan to everyone that the engagement was terminated on his initiative because he lost cultivation and lost his danshan. And in his opinion it is beneficial to them all. To which the man with the beard started laughing and agreed. Uncle Lane started to object, saying that 3 million is a very large sum. The Lin family won't be able to gather that much in an instant. To which the man said that there was nothing to worry about, and a small bottle appeared in his hands. He said that in this elixir 2 tablets both cost 1.5 million and gave the medicine to eat Yuan. He took the gift and thought that if he knew, he would have asked for 5 times more. Turning to Lure, he asked her for a prenuptial agreement, to which she responded positively and took out the document. And then the contract began to burn. Those 2 men said that the issue was resolved and they were leaving. But there is Yuan stopped them and asked the man with the beard what his name was, to which he grinned and asked why he was planning to take revenge now. The guy, in his thoughts, thought that he was very simple and generous and this should not be missed. Maybe he will be able to fuck something else with him in the future. And I told him that he wouldn't dare, just wants to know his name. Maybe the day will come when he wants to become his disciple. The man chuckled and said that his name was Yu Jin, a Dharma protector from the Tianyuan sect. And he added that he was smart and persistent. And he is sorry that he lost Dan Qian. Otherwise he might have taken him as an apprentice. The others were looking after them. And then suddenly that elixir began to glow. And a sign appeared in front of the guy where the Devourer System was written. And a concentrated spiritual pill was discovered. And the question was whether he wanted to absorb it. Xuan saw the sign and said that all is not lost yet. Heaven had indeed left him a loophole. But then his uncle suddenly called him and asked why he was in the clouds. He didn't answer him. When asked what he wanted, his uncle said that their family had spent millions in order to find medicines that could restore his strength. But it did nothing. And according to Mr. Yu, he will not see martial arts. And I asked if he could give these pills to them. With their help, other children who are able to achieve cultivation will be able to succeed. To which he up and said that he had to give up since he already had plans for them. Therefore, it will be better for them to forget them. To which one of the people sitting in this room said that he was going to use these pills to return to martial arts again. If it were possible, Mr. Nui would have taken him as an apprentice long ago. Another one of them intervened, saying that he was too naive. Even if there is a medicine that can restore the destroyed danshans, it would cost some unimaginable money. Besides, when the news about these pills spreads, someone will definitely attack him, and it's better to think ahead. Xuan grinned angrily and said that their kindness and wisdom was impressive. But just where was this wisdom when Yu King let their clan through with the last word? And as soon as he was able to drive him away, they needed his pills. To which one of them got angry and said that he was very arrogant and they were the heads of this clan. And how dare he say that they need these pills? After all, they will bring him only troubles, but other children benefit. They just wanted their family to become stronger. And everyone started to get indignant. His uncle said that they were right in principle and it would be better if he gave these pills to them. The guy said that he believed in his promise, and he knew that they were planning to send him somewhere far away so that he could help the family with their affairs. He appreciates this kindness, but he decided a long time ago that ordinary life is not for him. And he added that tomorrow he would leave the Yi family and begin the history of his clan. And he said that he hereby renounces all ties with the Yi family. To which all the heads began to be indignant, saying that because of the pills he decided to leave the family, calling him a grateful child. And they told his uncle to punish him immediately. His uncle asked, he had already decided everything for himself, to which he responded positively and said that he would not leave this path. The head smiled and said that let it be as he said and he respects his choice. When everyone else started objecting, the head told them to shut up and told them not to touch and eat Yuan anymore and not to blame him if he dared to violate his order. Turning to Xuan, he said that he could go and take Lure with him. Thanking him, they left together. Taking all the necessary things, they left the palace and the girl asked where they would go now. To which he replied to the Hotel Drunk Immortal. They'll stay there for now. The girl, hearing this, said that then the money comes out only half a month. Maybe they will choose something less expensive, such as Dostoyala and the House of Fane Li. The guy replied that half a month would be enough for their eyes. When he regains cultivation, money will no longer be a problem. To which the girl asked in surprise, he figured out how to restore cultivation. The guy said that he has pills so it won't be very difficult. They came to the Hotel Drunk Immortal. After they settled in one of the rooms, the girl told him to rest and she would go bring food. When she left, if Wayne took out the medicine by opening the lid, he began to drink this medicine. In his body, different lines began to appear, and the guy wondered if these streams that he feels are spiritual energy. In the tablet in front of him, he saw the inscription progress and its increase. It showed 95%. Seeing this, the guy thought that one pill to restore cultivation seemed to be not enough, and taking out another one, he swallowed it. The sign gave information that the collection of energy for the restoration of the system is completed. The system is activated, and the system found that the user's Danshin was destroyed, and it starts the process of devouring and pulling. The guy thought sharply, shouldn't it restore it? And then he did not sharply feel pain in the navel area, and some kind of glowing hole began to form there. The guy did not understand what was happening to him. It was very painful for him and he fell off the chair on which he was sitting. And then Lure came and asked what had happened, and he just kept repeating that he was in a lot of pain. A sign appeared and it said that the devouring of the Danshin was completed. The devouring system is fully activated. When he looked at his stomach, he saw a big hole. It was an absolute devouring system. She is able to absorb anything in order to turn it into spiritual energy and transmits it to the owner. Lure was very happy when she heard that the young master was able to restore his cultivation. The guy said that it was very painful for him, but now he feels that strength is spreading through his veins. Lure decided to set a festive table in honor of the fact that his strength had returned and left the room. And a sign appeared in front of Xuan where it was said that the Devourer System is able to absorb anything in order to turn it into spiritual energy and transfer it to the owner. And 3 circles also appeared. Martial arts, bloodline, divine weapons were written in them. After reading this, he decided to start with martial arts. It was also divided into 5 schools. 1 the storm blade technique, 2 the fist of the snarling tiger, 3 the leg of the falling wild goose, 4 the Vajra finger, and finally 5 the palm of the returning sand. The guy was delighted and he thought that now his mastery of martial arts has reached level 5, which means he can learn all the techniques, and he decided to start with the fist of the snarling tiger. But when he chose, the system showed an error because he didn't have enough devourer points. When he asked how to earn devourer's points, the sign said that it was necessary to absorb the prices of items. After examining the room, he found a porcelain vase and in his opinion it looked quite expensive. When he activated devouring, the system showed an error because there was an incorrect pose. And then I tried to eat it. The object began to shrink and the guy was able to absorb it. It was written on the sign that the absorbed object has the quality of garbage and 0 points were obtained from this. The guy was angry because he was promised energy for literally anything. And to earn points, the devourer needs to absorb valuable items. The guy thought that under the pretext of valuable things, he probably meant a heavenly treasure or expensive items for cultivation. If he wants to score points quickly, he will have to go to the 18 mountains of Lionion. But he was more confused by the pose for devouring. It is too awkward, and during the fight he will also have to writhe like that. And then a sign appeared with the inscription that he can acquire a devouring hand that will instantly absorb the objects he touches. Cost 3 opus. Suddenly, he heard screams outside. Opening the windows, he saw that Lure was being beaten by some girl, shouting at her that she was a worthless servant from the Yi family, and her master wants her. Therefore, she should gladly do his will. Xuan was shocked by what he saw, and that maid was still yelling that Lure is a cheat and cuts men, and she would tear her face to shreds so that such thoughts would not get into her head. But she managed to finish her word. Someone kicked her right in the face. It was Xuan. Standing next to Lure, he told her that he would always be there and therefore there was no need to be afraid. The guy who stabbed Xuan in the back appeared behind them. He greeted him sarcastically and asked if he was still not dead. Xuan also recognized him. The same sarcasm said that Yi's family is ready to spend a whole mountain of money on his treatment. It's just a pity that he can't help anymore because he will remain a colleague without cultivation. If and Chen Song replied that since that night he had stabbed him in the back, and today he was mocking Liu, and he deserved to die. To which Chinyan began to laugh and asked him who would kill him, some colleague. After their battle, he became a cripple and he should be glad that he is alive at all. Xuan said that he would pay for his business today. Hearing this, he laughed and said since he so wants to die again, he organizes it and activating his hand with lightning. He attacked him. Xuan held exactly the hand from which the lightning came, and I twisted this arm very hard. Chen Song was at a loss because this trick was a dragon counterattack. How could he do that if his cultivation is destroyed? But he screamed in pain due to the fact that his arm was badly twisted. Xuan said that he would like to thank him because without his help, he would not have been reborn. Cheng Song also said that the Yi family brought shame on its head by spreading false news. Xuan grinned and asked if these were his last words, since he was going to kill him, to which Cheng Sun said that he admits that he caught him well, but would he have the courage to kill him, since after his death, there will be a war between the Ye clan and the Chen clan, and the family is the weakest of the 4 great families and they will definitely not survive this. There is Xuan paused, and he went on saying no matter how close the Lin family are, do they stand up for him. If a war breaks out between the 3 families, then they will not sit still, and how he thinks which side they will take. And the guy began to think, if you think like that, this war will not benefit him or his family. With the help of the Death Eater system, he will be able to destroy the Cheng family on his own for a sufficient amount of time. Looks like we'll have to spare him. Such is the thought of Cheng Song wasting time. Took a knife. I wanted to stab him again, but there are Yuan bags to react faster and kicked his hand with a knife. He said that he was right, you can't kill him, but he will repay him in full. And he started beating him up, squatting over him. He said that let's not fall for one trick once and please take the side of Lure. When he asked if she was okay, she said yes, but just a little sore. All the other people looked at them in surprise. One of them was their Yi family and he thought that Mr. Xuan was really able to restore cultivation, and he should immediately tell the head about it. Chen Estate. The doctor was checking Chen Sun's pulse. The head of the Chen family, Chen Session, asked how he was feeling, to which the doctor said that his hands were almost fused and in a month he would be able to move them. But the path to martial art is now closed to him. And then his brother got angry and asked in what sense it was closed. So it turns out that he is now a colleague. The doctor said that not only his hands, meridians are also not fully restored. If he can move like a simple person, it will already be good luck. But with the help of a magical herb called the Blood Jade Herb, it will be possible to restore him to the meridians if he wants to, of course. But this herb is very valuable and costs a fortune. Their father told the second son that medicinal herbs grow in abundance in the 18 Lionian Mountains, and ordered him to go there immediately and find the Blood Jade, but not to go too deep. Then he turned to another person and ordered him to take some people with him and grab Xuan. 06 decided to personally show him what real pain is. This man Chen Yu also wanted to teach Xuan Yu a lesson, and therefore happily went after him. The head realized that it was time to talk to the Wu family, and it's time to put an end to the Yi family. Somewhere near the 18 Lionian Mountains, Xuan was walking through the forest and then a big boar started chasing him. He turned around at him and jumped over him so that the boar could not catch him. And we are moved to the hotel where Lure is located. She looked through the window and hoped that Xuan was returning in good health, and she remembered their conversation. She insisted on going with him, to which he said that everything would be fine since his cultivation was with him again. He needs to get stronger and as fast as possible. She shouldn't go after him, she can get into dangerous situations. And he added that in his opinion, the Chen family is definitely looking for him to avenge Chen Song, and that's why it would be better if she went to the bottom. The girl told him not to worry about her and everything would be fine with her. We are being moved to where Xuan was able to dodge the boar. It was a second-level demonic beast, a wild boar. The wild boar ran towards him to attack, and Xuan was glad that that beast came on time as he wanted to check one thing. And riding him, he activated his ability. He hit his head with his fist. The beast died immediately. Xuan, looking at him, thought that he had just entered the forest and there was already a second-level demonic beast. And now he had to be much more careful. But although if he coped with a demonic beast of the second level so easily, then there will be no problems with the beast of the third. And then he remembered that the devouring system could devour anything, and certainly the corpses of demonic beasts too. Squatting down, he looked at the animal and thought he wouldn't have his stomach twisted off him. And yet, having decided, he decided to absorb it. When he absorbed it, a sign appeared in front of him where it was written that he had absorbed the corpse of a demonic beast and received his spiritual power increased by 20 for this. He grinned angrily and said that the system had not let him down, and that means he will arrange a genocide of the local beast and so pump it in the blink of an eye. He killed a second-level demonic beast, the Black Panther, and increased his spiritual power by plus 20. He killed a third-level demon beast, a fanged wolf, for which he increased the spiritual power of plus 30, and also a third-level demon beast, a spotted rock. In the evening, he ate what he caught during the day and looked at the sign. The calculations all he thought that at this rate he could reach the middle of the 5th level of martial arts in 2 days. There are 10 levels. Each increases the impact force by 45 kilograms. Taking into account his techniques, now his impact force is about 273 kilograms. And this means that any creature below the 4th level will instantly die from one of his blows. After dinner, he decided to sleep in a tree because it was safer there than on the ground. and jumped on one of them. While he was sleeping, a rustle was heard below. Opening his eyes, the guy grinned and said that it seemed the named guests had come to him. The guy got up from his seat and looked down. I think there's something moving in his direction. And at the bottom he saw a shining snake. It was a level 3 white phosphorus python. It seemed to him that he was somehow too big, but it doesn't matter. Since he came to him, it's a sin to refuse. Through the Devourer's space, he took the sword. And he thought it was much more useful than this universal bag and great for stealing. Jumping from a branch, he plunged his sword right into the python. But the sword didn't even scratch his scales. The python noticed him and started attacking him. I thought that the hangout had very strong scales. I couldn't even break through once. But still he was able to scratch it a little. With the python's body began to bleed. And he ran off into the woods. The guy thought that if you look like that, then this white phosphorus python is a little different from the others. It had some kind of black stripe on it. Could it be that it's a demonic beast that ate the heavenly treasure and mutated? If that was the case, then he would definitely have to kill him and swallow his power. While he was walking through the forest, he saw a cave and wondered if it could be a python's hideout. There is a possibility that the treasures that changed him so much are still inside. And he went inside the cave, and he was glad that his campaign was becoming more fruitful by the minute. When I entered the cave, he saw that there was water there, and there was a small island in the middle of the water, and in the center was some kind of purple gemstone. Xuan wondered if it could be that this was a heavenly treasure. Since because of him the beast of level 3 has moved to 4, then she must definitely be strong. Xuan decided to take this stone, but then a python came out of the water and attacked Xuan. But he managed to take the stone and looked at the python. It was another python and there was a golden line on it, and about the same size as before. Then to his surprise, the snake began to spin in one place, and he thought that this snake was completely stupid. Unnoticed, another python also came out from behind him and attacked him. But I managed to dodge today. And deciding quickly, he swallowed this crystal. A sign appeared in front of him where it was written that he had absorbed 1 concentrated obsidian nugget. Her spiritual power has increased by 15 times. Boiled was very happy about it, but his joy did not last long because he was attacked by these 2 pythons at the same time. He didn't lose his head because now he had level 5 martial arts and he could easily defeat these pythons. Taking his sword, he attacked one of them and cut his body into 2 pieces. The golden python, seeing that his companion was dead, got angry and attacked Xuan again. Xuan also attacked him by stabbing his sword on his head. That's just the sword did not pierce his head, and he did not understand why this was happening since he had level 5. But still, this is also not enough to pierce this python. I don't understand what to do now. He lacks the skills of possession of the ball, otherwise he would have coped with this snake. After all, he just got an opus, so he can go to bed and go to martial arts. And he ordered the system to open the list of martial arts techniques and find something level 5. There were the following martial arts: Wind Blade Technique, Tiger Fist Whipping, Toby Gary Soaring, Buddha Finger, Black Sand Palm, and Sand Figure Knife Wielding. The guy chose the Wind Blade Technique, and she spent her points on the Wind Blade Technique. In one opus, he got this skill, and he started fighting him. He said that it took a long time, only he studied the technique and immediately mastered it perfectly. He was still a little tired because the level 5 technique consumes too much Kai. She is his at the current level of cultivation. He will be able to use her a maximum of a couple of times, and therefore it is necessary to finish with him as soon as he has collected his goal. He was able to kill the monster with one blow. Although it was originally a simple level 5 monster, it was harder to kill it than level 6 monsters. If it wasn't for the level 5 combat equipment, he definitely wouldn't have survived. He told the system that he wanted to study the Devouring Hand, and for 3 opus he got a Devouring Hand. And with the help of it, he was able to absorb a mutating level 5 demonic beast, for which he received a spiritual force of 300. After stroking another level 4 demonic beast, he went on. When he came out of the cave, it was already getting light. He had only spent a day in the mountains and his cultivation had already grown so much. But the most important thing is that he was able to earn Devourer points. His guess turned out to be correct. Only expensive things like heavenly materials and treasures give Devourer points. And it was time to go back since he left Liu alone. Suddenly he heard strange noises, and when he looked from behind he saw a leopard jumping at him. The guy saw crystals on his neck. He still thought I was imagining it, or there were crystals hanging on the neck of this level 4 leopard chasing the wind. I wonder who has so much extra money to think of hanging $1 million crystal around a beast's neck. And he started chasing him too, but he still lost his tracks. And then he heard someone screaming. It was Chen Feng. He demanded one girl to give him the blood jade herb, and he's still talking to her in a good way. If she angers him, it will be worse for her. The girl told him if he had enough skills to stand up for his words. He got angry, taking the sword, decided to kill her. Each time the girl could dodge the blows, and this angered him even more. And so, activating his lightning fist power, he directed it towards the girl. The girl could not block the blow and therefore fell to the ground. Xuan Wu recognized her. It was Zhu Qingqing, the daughter of Zhu Hai, the main rich man of Wangjing City, and an old friend of the former owner of his body. When Chen Feng wanted to hit her with his sword, Xuan took a branch and threw it towards Chen Feng, and his sword fell to the ground. Xuan also told him what was expected of the young master from the Chen family, not disdaining anything. That's how he behaves with a poor girl. Both of them were surprised to see Xuan. The girl ran in his direction. Very Fen maliciously asked if he was watching him, to which he sarcastically said as if he had nothing to waste time on. And he had already turned to Qingqing, asking if she was injured and why she needed to go to these mountains at all, where his father and the guards were. She said something that she was fine, and she said that he is at the beginning of the 4th level of martial arts, and the same at the beginning of the 5th. Even together they could not cope with him and told him to run and she would detain him. To which the guy asked, she knew he was so strong, but she decided to fight anyway. To which she replied that until they exchanged blows, she herself did not know. The guy said that he had already gone far from level 4. Hearing this, girl was delighted and began to praise him, saying that he was incredible. Since the last time they saw each other, which was only a year ago, he was at the beginning of the 4th level of martial arts and he already has the 5th level. To which the guy only blushed very much. The girl pointed angrily at Chen Feng and told Xuan Yu to protect her honor. Xuan said that then let her calmly watch him kill him for her. After hearing this, Chen Feng furiously said that in their last battle, he didn't even really try, and here he was going to kill him. But so be it. He will let him feel the power of the Chen family's Thunder Kalinka technique on his own skin, and he will pay for his brother's broken arm. Xuan wished him good luck and took his sword from the spatial ring, and they began to fight. They started the fight. They attacked each other mercilessly. Chen Feng flew several meters away. He was amazed as he was sure that Xuan's cultivation shouldn't have surpassed his. To which he replied that he thanked his brother for it. Then the shadow told him that he knew it was worth cutting off his head then. Xuan replied with a grin that it was too late to regret, and in order to repay him for the service, he would kill him in 3 strikes. This further enraged Chen Feng, and he activated the Thunderblade technique and attacked Xuan. And he, in turn, also activated the Wave of the Storm Blade and attacked him back. From the force of the impact, the place where they were standing exploded. Amidst the dust and smoke, I asked today, is this all the Chen family's Thunderblade technique is capable of? To which Chen Feng angrily asked him what was wrong with his cultivation. After all, he took a blow with a Thunder Blade and there was not a scratch on him. The guy also said that the technique he just used is at the 5th level of martial arts, and sarcastically asked if he could teach him this technique. Vidima just needs to fall at his feet and ask well. Chen Feng understood that it was bad. Xuan also spoke further, saying or politeness is too difficult for him. If so, then he can become his godfather. Chen looked at the girl and thought that he would have to take the girl hostage, and started running towards her. Xuan saw this and ran towards them at the same time, telling the system that he wanted to change the Devourer's glasses to the storm steps of the 5th level. For spending 1 opus, he received the skill Lightning Fast Attacking Step, and ran towards them at the speed of light. Chen Feng, pointing his sword, ran straight at the girl, but he was cut into 2 parts. But his sword was still flying towards the girl, and Xuan grabbed it and they fell to the ground together. Xuan was still lying on Qingqing, and she shyly shouted at him to get off her. He stood up and awkwardly asked for forgiveness, saying that it somehow happened that way. But he still noted that she smells very nice. Somewhere near the 18 mountains of Lionion, the girl took a bottle from her pocket and said that if he had not appeared, she definitely would not have greeted him. And I gave the guy this bottle. There was a blood jade herb in the bottle. The guy asked her if she was sure she wanted to give it to him. If he's not mistaken, this is the pulsating grass of blood jade, then it's worth a lot of money. The girl said indignantly that she didn't care about grass and grass. What's more important is that she's still alive. Her father is the richest man in Wangjing. They have this grass measured immeasurably. The guy thanked her and put the bottle in his pocket, and he asked that he never heard what she needed in the 18 mountains of Lionion. She said she wanted to go to those who are Liyuan and her father strictly forbade it, and so she decided to sneak in there, but then she got lost. Xuan said that then she should be glad that she stumbled upon him. And for a start, it's better to return to Leon in June. He and Lure haven't seen each other for a whole year and he thinks he's treating her to a good dinner and a drunken immortal. The girl was just behind because she was very hungry. When they entered the city, they were met by one of their employees and excitedly said that it was faster to go to the estate since someone had beaten Lure. The guy angrily asked who dared to do this, to which the man replied that someone from the Chen family. Chen Yu took people and went looking for him. When he found out that he wasn't there, he snapped at poor Liu. When the news that he had maimed Chen Song reached the family, the clan head immediately sent an ambassador, who found Liu. They took her to the manor, but it was too late. Excitedly asked what was wrong with her, to which the man replied that the doctor said that her internal organs were destroyed by the flow of evil spiritual energy, and he was afraid that little Liu wouldn't live to see tomorrow. Xuan immediately went to the manor thinking that he had underestimated the anger of the inhabitants of this world. The courtyard of the Yi estate. He entered the room where Lucy was lying. There was a maid. He told her to come out. After that, as she came out, he saw the liver in a very bad condition. He told the system to change the devourer's glasses for dew collected by hundreds of flowers. The system exchanged one opus for dew, collected hundreds of flowers. After receiving the elixir, he gave it to Lure to drink. Rose collected hundreds of flowers. The potion is able to neutralize poison and other injuries caused by the influence of spiritual energy from the outside, working just like an analgesic and accelerates recovery. The best wound treatment for people with a cultivation level not higher than 9. After the girl drank the potion, she felt much better. The guy breathed a sigh of relief and said that he was lucky that he scored points when he was in the Lianian Mountains. Otherwise, everything would have turned out wrong. When he left the room, he saw the head of the Yen family. His uncle asked how Liu was doing. He replied that he had given her a legendary potion that he had earned in the 18 Lianian Mountains. After a good sleep, she will be healthy. Uncle said he was glad to hear it. And he has not just regained his cultivation but has also become much stronger. He said that this was true and he had already reached the middle of level 5. Uncle said that something very good happened to him in the 18 mountains of Lianian. Another head, a little upset, said that if he had not tried to put pressure on him, he would not have left the estate, and then Liu would be fine. His uncle said it was their fault and he hoped that he would let the past stay in the past and return to the estate. The guy said that they didn't think to blame them for what happened. They were only worried about the welfare of the Yi family, and he thinks that his self-restraint is to blame for the fact that everything turned out this way. And in himself, he thought that he needed a huge amount of resources to activate the system. Although he managed to quickly raise the level of the 18 Lianian Mountains, it is nothing compared to the support of an entire clan. And he added that the blood of the Yi family flows into him until his death. He will be a part of it. And I thought since they admitted that they were wrong, then he goes to meet them. The heads were happy to say that Xuan is a very smart young man. He would never make a scandal. And then the guy also said that he had 2 more conditions. His uncle said that if he agreed to return to the clan, he would do anything. The guy said that he wants there to be no trace left of the clan member. When his uncle heard this, she said that if they declared war on them, the family clarified what you would do. I wanted to say something else, but the guy interrupted him and said that he had already killed the eldest son of the Chen family. His corpse lies in the Lianian Mountains. All the chapters were shocked to hear this. His uncle said it looks like there's no avoiding a war, but they still need a plan. And I told him that there were too many outsiders here and it was better to discuss everything in the main hall. When they gathered in the main hall, his uncle asked him, judging by the fact that he started talking about the destruction of the Qin clan, he already had some ideas whether he could tell them about it. The guy said that yes he has, but part of this plan is his second condition. He said that he wants all the heavenly and earthly treasures stored in the treasury of the Yi family. All the chapters were outraged upon hearing this. One of them said not well, the treasures belong to all members of the Yi family, and if he takes them all, then there will be no future for the clan. Not to mention that he just won't be able to take advantage of everyone. The guy thought that it looked like even the head of the clan still didn't trust him, and apparently he will have to resort to tricks. Raising his hands in a peaceful gesture, he said not to be angry at him. In the Lianian Mountains, he met an eccentric hermit. He helped him to restore the Danshan. He said he had a rare body structure called Devouring. Because of it, he will be able to infinitely absorb any treasures and receive spiritual energy for it. And he taught him how to use this power, thanks to which he not only restored the Danshan, but also reached the middle of the 5th level of martial arts. The head said that he had never heard of such a thing and told him to tell him in more detail. And one of them said that the ability to devour heavenly and earthly treasures, thereby obtaining spiritual energy, is it so. It begins to seem to him that he is trying to deceive them in order to get the treasures of the family. Xuan said that he could understand why they were doubting and he was ready to demonstrate his strength. The head asked how many items he needed to reach the next level. He said that he needed about 900,000 resources, to which the head said that 900,000 to raise half the level is not enough, and these resources are needed by the young disciples of the E family to cultivate. They won't be able to afford it, to which Xuan said that naturally he did not ask for these resources to be given to him free of charge. He said that he would personally contribute 2 level 5 martial techniques to the E family scroll. It will definitely make the E family stronger, won't it? The head started discussing it, and one of them said that there was no evidence that he would do that and told him to leave them one technique, and when they checked it, he would get the resources and then give them 2. The guy said that he was ready to write it even now and told them to carry paper and ink. Xuan wrote 2 martial techniques. It was a storm blade technique and a lightning fast attacking step. The head asked if these techniques could be used by the Yi family if that hermit didn't mind, to which the guy said that yes, it was the hermit who taught him these techniques, and for him they were nothing more than a pathetic toy, and he thinks that he won't be upset if the students of the Yi family use them. One of them said that lightning is not a dream attacking step is truly an amazing technique. With her, he will become stronger 3 times, and it will even be able to cope with the liver. The head was happy about this, and he said that they were on the verge of war, and therefore the stronger the Yi family, the better for them. He will give these scrolls to the disciples, and ordered them to go to the treasury to transfer the yuan of resources to 900,000, and give him the badge of the eldest heir of the family. And he also forbade them to divulge any information about Xuan's unique body and the techniques he brought. If he finds out that the information has leaked outside of this hall, then it will be bad for everyone. All at the same time said that they are not us as the grave. Xuan, leaving, said to have all the treasures brought to his room, and by tomorrow his level will already be higher, and tomorrow he will show them his new powers. Let this convince them of his seriousness and then tell them his plan. The head smiled and said that it would be like this, and I told him to rest because he had spent a lot of time in grief, and tomorrow they would discuss everything. When they all came out, the head of the clan started laughing angrily and said that heaven is on the side of the Yi family, and Xuan is a blessing sent to them by God. The assistants carried the treasures to Xuan's room. The third attendant told them to move faster. If the young master is dissatisfied with them, then let them blame themselves. They came to Xuan's room and said they had brought the items he wanted. Tal told them to bring everything inside. They put all the things in his room and asked permission to leave. Xuan allowed them to leave but suddenly stopped the third attendant, telling him to stay. Sweating with fear, he asked how he could help him. Xuan said that a few days ago, the third steward was so brave and cruel. The same, shaking with fear, said that it was a misunderstanding. And I thought that he was finished now because it looks like the young gentleman harbored a grudge. And I realized that I had to resort to this. And he bowed so much, asking for forgiveness, that he even broke his forehead. He still asked for forgiveness, saying that he should not have done so. The guy, looking at it in amazement, thought that he hadn't even threatened him. But he was so scared. And he told him that he would repent like that. And yet I decided to give him one chance. The latter happily thanked him and asked how he could be useful. To which he said with a frightening look that he should find out everything he could about Chen Song. The expression on his face scared the hell out of him, and he remembered that his aunt's niece's son works under the Chen family, and he will tell him to find out about him. Xuan said he didn't care exactly how he did it, and he just meant that the residents should not find out about it. 3. The attendant said that he was as mute as the grave. The guy said that if he coped with the task, he would get a proper relationship. He thanked him and left. After opening the chest, he saw a lot of jewelry and was glad because he would be able to level up. And activating his devouring ability, he began to devour all the jewels. And thanks to this, he successfully reached the beginning of the 6th level of martial arts. He said that every level increase is a very big gain, and he feels like his body and his spiritual power have reached new heights. And if he met Chen Feng now, he would kill him with one blow. The next day they gathered at the playground. Xuan was standing in front of a large stone. The head said that there are 10 levels of martial arts, and with each level of impact force increases by 100 kilograms. This monument is designed for level 6, and if everyone does not break it with one blow without resorting to techniques, it will mean that he has reached level 6. Gathering all his strength into a fist, he hit this monument and all its fragments scattered in different directions. This greatly surprised all the elders, and the head said that he had truly reached the 6th level of martial arts. They all started praising him, saying that he was only 15 and he had already reached level 6. Even in the Split Cloud sect, he would be considered a genius. They would definitely help him with cultivation. And the head of the Crumpled said that ordinary people would have to work for months and years to move from one stage of the level to another, and he will only think that he has passed half of the level during the night. To which the guy thought that if he knew that it took him 5 minutes to do everything about everything, his jaw would definitely fall off. And remembering about the plan, the head asked what he was up to. He said that everything is simple. For resources, he will teach them the technique which will make the family much stronger in terms of combat. And with the help of resources, he will become even stronger, and after that he will be able to destroy the Chen family in the coming war. The head said that the idea was not bad, but the remaining resources they had would not be enough to transfer it to level 7. To which Xuan replied that it didn't matter because they could sell martial techniques to the Lin family and buy a lot of cultivation materials with this money. His uncle said it sounded good and that's what they would do. And if he said that he would write down the techniques. In the manner, Xuan wrote techniques for the elders. At the same time, he acquired from the system the level 5 technique of the Bow of the Storm, 8 the Bull, the Paw of the Bear losing the Demon, 5 lightning strikes, the Meteor Possession technique, and the Roar of the Tigers. He wrote all these techniques on paper. After studying it, the elders said that this technique of the 5th level of the Tiger Rivers would cost at least 500,000. And with these techniques, they will be able to handle the Chen family. One of them told Xuan to wait a bit. He will personally check the remaining resources in the treasury and send him everything exactly right. He said he was counting on them. The backyard of the estate, the guy entered the room and saw that the girl got up. He told her to rest better as she had just regained consciousness. She looked at him and, crying, hugged him. She said she thought she would never see him again and would not be able to serve him. To which he said that he would never leave her. And suddenly her stomach rumbled violently. Xuan said that he would bring her something to eat since for these 2 days she was very hungry. She said something that Sister Kinkin had already gone to get food. And she told him to stay with her for a little while. To which he asked where she went, because they already have enough food. The girl said that she knows one restaurant where they sell food for accelerating recovery. And that's why she went there. Xuan said that she just wanted something delicious. She could have told her directly. And then they knocked on the door and said that he had a letter and personally to him. He told him to come in. The servant handed him a letter and it was written there that if he wanted to save Kinking, then let him come to the forest that is located 5 kilometers north of Lionian. And if they see that he is not alone, they will cut off her hands. After reading this, the guy asked who gave this letter, to which the servant said that the man just threw it and ran away. The girl excitedly asked what happened. To which he said that Kinking forgot to take the money and asked him to help her out. And he told her to rest and order her to be brought food in the evening that day. He came at the appointed time and place. There were 2 guards and a Kinking whose hands were tied. When he inspected the entire forest before there, he saw that they were surrounded by a lot of guards. And he also noticed Cheng Kian. The guy thought about why he needed Sinsen. Maybe the news that he killed Cheng Feng has already spread. They're waiting for him, and he needs a plan. If he tried to just barge in there, Kinking would be in danger. And then he came up with something. He told the system that he needed a medium quality black iron bow. For 2 devourer points, he got a bow. Taking a bow, he shot straight at 2 guards. Chen Kian realized that Xuan was here. Chen Kian told everyone to hold them and not let them escape. They all headed towards Kinking and Xuan. The guy grinned and threw away his bow, took the sword with him and asked them if the members of the Chen family were capable of only such vile techniques. And Chen Kian noticed the yin-yang spatial ring. Xuan raised his sword and freed Kinking. She was delighted and said that he had finally come. Chen Kian that if he gave them the spatial ring and level 5 martial techniques, then he would forgive him for killing Chen Feng and let him go. His words caught Xuan by surprise. He wondered how he knew that he was proficient in martial techniques and that he had killed Chen Feng. And he realized that there was a spy in the family. Looking at them all, he thought that there were a lot of enemies here. Besides, Kinking would only get in the way. And he decided that he should just pretend that he agrees with them and then wait for the opportunities to get rid of them all at once. Looking at Kinking, he whispered that he would deal with them himself and let her run away from here. To which she replied in the negative, saying that he had come to save her and she simply could not leave him here. To which he said that he would only get in the way, and if she was caught again, they were screwed. That's why he ordered me to leave here. Chen Kian asked what he had decided and said it faster. If Lanchai asked if they would delay their words, would they let them go? To which he replied that yes, since his name is Cheng Lao and he always keeps his word. The guy said that he agreed and took something out of his pocket. Seeing this, Chen Kian ordered one of them to go to him and take the thing. When he wanted to take it, Xuan hit his body with all his might and shattered into pieces. Chen Jian said furiously that he was tired of living. He will take everything he wants just by killing him, and they all started attacking him at the same time. They started fighting and he looked at Kinking and told her to run faster. She said she would bring help and ran away. Chen Qian said that she wouldn't run far away, and so first she had to deal with Xuan, and they all started attacking him. Xuan activated his power and hit them with his sword. Chen Jian said that this is the same technique that he killed Chen Feng. He was amazed by this sight, and he said that when he mastered this technique, he would be able to fight with his older brother for the position of the head of the clan, and attacked him from behind. But the guy was able to get away from the blow. The center said that he was fast, and probably this is another level 5 technique, as he thought this old man from the family did not lie to him about food. If he has the courage, then let him fight with him, and activated her fire power. Chen Qian activated his power and told Xuan to fight him. It was just in favor, and they started the fight. Xuan used the triple piercing thunder blade technique to attack him. He barely managed to escape from the blow, to which Xuan said that he had strong claws. Chen Qian also said that he really was able to reach the 6th level of martial arts. The guy asked how he knew this because only Lil clan members knew about it. Chen Qian activated his fire power and asked if he wanted to find out the truth, so let him go to hell and ask Yama himself, and started attacking Xuan. He used the blade to hit him and scratched his pile a little, and 2 vials flew out of his pocket. One of them was red, the other blue. Xuan was able to catch the blue one and Chen Qian the red one. What Xuan caught was a regeneration potion. Looking at Chen Qian, he said that it looked like he needed it, but he, too, will not refuse and hid it in the dimensions of the Devourer. Chen Qian thought it was easy to escape from here, but he absolutely did not expect that there would be so many problems with this kid. And opening the red bottle, he drank the pill inside, and then he started glowing red and his eyes turned red. Xuan was stunned and said that it was a Kai explosion pill. He said that she was the one. The Kai explosion pill temporarily makes a person stronger by a whole level. In rare cases, as much as 2. And now the heavens themselves are on his side. Now his strength is akin to the 7th level of martial arts. And started attacking Xuan. Xuan the same activated his sword, started attacking him in response, and when he hit him and dismembered his body into 2 parts. But Chen Qian quickly returned to his former form and moved to the back of the guy to hit him. The guy reacted quickly and struck with a sword, but he grabbed him and told him to die and hit him. The blow caused blood to flow from the guy's mouth. Chen Qian hit him so hard that blood came out of his mouth. He flew away from him, but still took a bow out of space and started shooting Chen Qian using the 5-star spheres attack technique. Chen Qian told him that it was better to obediently give him the spatial ring, and he would already be giving him a quick death. And after blocking the blows from the arrow, he hit Xuan again. They landed, and the guy remembered that he had regeneration pills. He told the system to absorb these pills, and for that, he received 1000 spiritual energy. The plaque said that he had reached the late stage of the 6th level of martial arts. The Devourer's points increased by 6. The guy was glad that we were able to reach the late stage of the 6th level of martial arts. Now he needs to get closer to Chen Qian so that he does not go into defense, then he can stun the whole tiger with a roar and knock down his level 5 sound technique. He yelled at him, saying whether he had come up with how he wanted to die, to which Xuan said that so far he has not decided to die and today he himself will die. Having said these words, he began to run towards him. Chen Qian activated his fire power, shouted at him that he was standing right in the face of death but still did not recognize her, and hit him with all her might. The guy grinned but still fell to the ground. Chen Qian thought that he had finally died. Leaning over him, he said that he could be proud of himself since he was the first of his generation to be able to make him so tense. If he had another 3 years or so, he might have become the strongest in the city. And I started looking for a spatial ring. Not finding it, he became indignant because he saw that he had definitely taken out a sword and bow from it. The guy pretended to be dead and waited for the right moment. He used the tiger roar technique. Chen Qian flew off to the side and he was badly injured. Kinking was running towards the city, and then she heard sounds from the wilderness of the forest and birds that flew away from the branch because of the sound. Chen Qian, without understanding, asked why he was still alive. Xuan replied that while he was in the air, he bought a little tincture of a white flower. It not only instantly heals wounds, but also restores spiritual strength, truly the best healing drug in the world. And now, taking a sword from space, the guy asked how he knew the internal affairs of the Yi family. He just took a deep breath. The girl saw a shadow among the trees. It was Xuan. The girl ran up to him and asked if he was okay and where those people were, to which he replied that everything was fine with him and those people were no longer there, and told her to go back to the estate. They returned to the manor late at night, and there as Yuan went to the backyard of the family. He entered the room of the head and he smiled and said that he had come just in time. He had already finished rewriting most of the scrolls with techniques, and maybe tomorrow they can go to the Lin family. The guy said he had something important to say. His uncle asked him in the middle of the night what happened. He replied that he had killed Chen Qian. After hearing that he had killed Chen Qian, the head almost choked on his tea. He anxiously got up from his seat and asked him if he was injured. The guy replied that he was fine. His uncle said that Chen Qian was at the late stage of the 6th level of martial arts. He was the 4th strongest in the Chen family. If he was able to kill him, it means that he had reached the same level. The guy said that something unexpected happened during the fight and he reached the late stage of the 6th level of martial arts, after which he killed him with the help of a tiger roar. The head said that he was glad that he was alright and asked her why he killed him anyway. The Chen family found out about what happened to Chen Feng. Xuan sat down and replied that they didn't know anything yet, but nevertheless there was a traitor in the ranks of the Yi family. Hearing this, the head excitedly asked who this traitor was. The guy replied that this was the main elder. When asked by his uncle if he was sure of this, he said that he had to try to split Chen Qingya. The elder lost 20 million to the Chen family on bets, so he was blackmailed. He did it so as not to die. His uncle hit the table out of rage since he dared to betray the Yi family. And he asked the guy if he had learned anything else. He replied that according to Chen Qian's words, the Chen family has been trying to establish contact with the Wu family lately, and it looks like they've teamed up. Uncle decided that it would be better to go to the Lin family right now. They came to the Lin family mansion. The head of the Lin family said that he was glad to see his nephews in good health, and he thinks that he has already regained his strength. So the rumors weren't lying. He really was able to restore the destroyed Danshan. Xuan replied that it was all thanks to those 2 pills and he owed it to him. Uncle Lin sighed heavily and said that he was still upset that they broke off the engagement, wasn't he? To which Xuan replied that he did not understand. He is really very grateful. The head of Lin asked him for forgiveness and if the Lin family treated him badly. But he suddenly came up with the idea that he would order a couple of unmarried girls from the Lin family to be brought here right now. He will choose which one he likes and asked how he liked this idea. To which the sweating told him not to joke like that. And in his head he thought that he wanted everyone at once. Then the head of the Yi family coughed and told them to stop making fun of Xuan like that. And he said that he arrived here at such a late time on a very important matter. And I gave him some scrolls on which there were techniques. Seeing this, the head of Lin was surprised to say that these are level 5 techniques, while no one in the city knows about them. And I asked him how to understand it. The head of the Yi family replied that he wanted to make a deal with him and he still had a whole lot of level 4 and 5 techniques. He said that he wanted to sell them to the Lin family. The head of Lin asked in a dumbfounded manner. He decided to sell all the techniques that are not known even in Lianian. Chapter E said that at the same time he has one condition. The condition was as follows: as payment, he does not need gold, he needs consumables for cultivation, natural gems, heavenly and earthly treasures of any level, as much as he can get in a night. To his questions whether he would agree, Clava Lin happily said that it was easy and would immediately order everyone to start collecting them and left the room. Xuan thought that he had bought more than a dozen 5th level techniques without batting an eye. It looks like the Lin family is much richer than the Yi family. The head of Lin returned saying that his servants were already collecting items and they would be with him soon. Chapter E said that it was sorted out, and he said that they would move on to what he came here for. Head Lin cautiously asked if not for the techniques, then for what, and what he wants to drag him into. Head E said that he had received confirmation of the information that the Chen and Wu families had become impoverished. The head of the Yi family said that he had received Chen and had depleted his strength. Head Lin asked if they decided to form an alliance, to which he replied what exactly. They stood shoulder to destroy the Yi family. The head of Lin said that he understood everything and told him not to worry about it because he would not humbly wait for the fall of the Yi family. And clasping his hands in a brotherly gesture, he said that they were brothers until death and sickness and health. The head of Lin said that the most important thing in clan battles is the battle of their strongest representatives. The ruler of the city had his level of martial arts. Only his father can compare with him. But now he lives in seclusion. They should not underestimate them. They should not underestimate their enemies. When his father returns, they will sweep away the Wu and Chen families. Head Yi said that Elder Lin had already reached the 9th level and congratulated him on this in advance. He replied that he was happy to accept his congratulations. Suddenly, someone knocked on the door and the head of Lin said that it looks like the resources for cultivation are ready, and he said he would appoint people to escort them home. The elders wished each other good luck. The head of Yi and Xuan went home with a cart. His uncle asked if these things would be enough for him to move to the next level. Xuan replied that it was enough, and they show us that people in black are chasing them on the roofs of houses. And the head enthusiastically said that he was only 15 and he had already reached the 7th level. Xuan heard the sound of stomping, and his uncle still continued to say that if he joined the Land sect one day, the leader himself would take him as a disciple. And then people in black clothes attacked them. Xuan covered his uncle and began to attack, and he wondered if these people could be from the Lin family. They started attacking the elder and the people who were attached to the Yi family. The head thought that the joint attacks of 2 warriors of the top of the 6th level could become a problem even for someone from the middle of the 7th level. Things were bad.